ठीक है, एक सेकेंड। ओके, चलो। केशवी, आजा, बैठ जा। अभी आवाज कहाँ से आ रही है प्रभु? स्पीकर से आ रही, कहाँ से आ रही है? ये यहाँ से आ रही? आपके, मुझे आपके कंप्यूटर से नहीं दे रही। कंप्यूटर का स्पीकर बंद कर दो बस। स्पीकर और माइक दोनों बंद कर दो। क्या करें? मीटिंग, want to share. Okay. डिटेल में शेयर करें। ये अच्छी हवा आ रही तुम्हारे घर में? अच्छा, ठीक है। हो गया। अच्छा, ऑलराइट। अभी शेयर भी की नहीं हो रहा, शेयर हो रहा है ना हमारा? Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining us today here on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube, and also here in the room. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Prabhu, for hosting this for us. So, Kathy is going to stay in the kitchen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we
She'll
should
be
do.
there,
She'll come
starting.
later. Okay. All right. So we will start with a Mangalachan prayer. Then we do one round of chanting, and then we will go into the Bhagavad-gita. Okay. So I am sharing the Mangalachan prayers there, so you can also sing it together. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjan-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapt Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So we will start first with a round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Do you have your beads with you? You didn't get the beads? Okay, okay. Yeah, or you can just follow. I'll be chanting loudly and you can also all follow with me. Bring your bag. Keshvi, bring your bead bag. प्रभु फोन के ऊपर एप्स आती हैं आजकल हाँ जापामाला और वो यूज्ड टू हो गया मैं काउंटर एनी काउंटर काउंटर घर पे है फीडबैक अभी अभी नहीं आया तो चैंटिंग करने से पहले वी फर्स्ट से दिस प्रेयर 3 times. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, because we are seeking their blessings to be able to chant this round properly. So Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama. Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. हाँ खत्म कर लो अपना जितना रहता है तो कंप्लीट. हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण, कृष्ण कृष्ण, हरे हरे, हरे राम, हरे कृष्ण, कृष्ण कृष्ण, हरे हरे, हरे राम, हरे राम, हरे कृष्ण, हरे हरे. Nice. It's better. तो अभी हमने एक राउंड चैंटिंग का करा, फिर अब हम लोग विल गो इनसाइड द भगवत गीता, राइट? बुक्स की जरूरत नहीं है. स्क्रीन है आपके पास इलेक्ट्रॉनिक. यू हैव गॉन ऑल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक नाउ. ओके. So first and foremost, dear devotees, I'd like to start with my acknowledgements. First and foremost to Srila Prabhupada, who translated these books into English, without which I could have never read any of the Indian Shastras. And to my spiritual master, Vaisheshika Das Prabhu, for guiding me throughout for the last 15 years. To the various ISKCON Acharyas as well, from whom I have been learning Bhagavad Gita and the nuances of it. To my Prabhu, Rakesh Rajput, seated over there, for supporting me throughout this seva that I have for preaching Krishna Kathas in the Bay Area. And I'd also like to acknowledge our hosts, Khyati Mataji, busy cooking and preparing, getting the bhoga and the prasadam ready for all of us. And of course, to Neeral Prabhu, who opened their beautiful home as well as their heart so that we could have Krishna Katha here. I need the mic, right? I just realized. And then, of course, thank you to all the participants here. And then also on Zoom, we have Deepika, we have Priyanka, and we have Jyoti Mataji. Actually, Jyoti joining us from India. And Deepika is Deepika somebody that you know? Okay. All right, good. So, well, yeah, if you like, oh, very good, very good. Good to have you. Yeah, if you open up your videos, it's always good, then I can have much better interaction. All right, so without much ado, we will get on to Bhagavad Gita. So we will start first with the Sanskrit, and then we will do the translations. So for the Sanskrit, I will read, and then you can recite, and I'll read and you can recite, right? Like that call and response we'll do. So starting from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse number 1. Dhritarashtravacha Dharmashetre Kurukshetre Samaveta
Samvetayujutsava
Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva
Mamaka Pandava Sheva
Akurvat Chanjaya.
Kim Kurva Sanjaya
Sanjay Uvacha
Sanjay Vacha
Drishtva tu Panduvanikam
Drishtva tu Pandavanikam
Vyudham Duryodhanastada
Vyudham
Acharyam
Durdodhanas
Upasangamya
Sada
Raja Vachanam
Sangame
Abravit
Raja Vachanam Abravit
Paschyatam Panduputrana
Pashyetam
Acharya Mahatim
Panduputranam
Chamu
Acharyam Mahatim
Vyudham
Chamu
Drupada Putrena
Vyudam
Tava
Druputrena
Shishyena Dhimata
Tabshishena
Atra
Dhimata
Shura Maheshvasa
Atra Shura Maheshwasa
Bhimajuna Samayudhi
Bhima Juna Samayuti
Yudhano Viratascha
Yuyudhano Viratascha
Drupadascha Maharathaha
Drupadacha Maharatha
Drishtiketustchekitanaha
Drishtaketu Shriti Chek
Kashirajascha Viryavan
Kashi Rajascha
Jitkundi
Virivan
Bhojascha
Purti Kunti
Sebhyascha
Bhojascha
Narapungavaha
Ebhyascha Narpungava
Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta
युधमन्युश्च विक्रान्त
उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान्
उत्तमोजश्च वीर्यवान्
सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च
सौभद्रो
सर्व
द्रौपदेयश्च
एवा महारथः
सर्व एव महारथः
अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये
अस्माकं तु
तानि
विशिष्टाये
बोधाद्विजोत्तमा
तानि बोध द्विजोतम
नायका मम सैन्यस्य
नायका मम सैन्यस्य
संज्ञार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते
संज्ञार्थं तान्
भवान्
ब्रीवीमि
भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च
भवानिमिश्च
कृपस्या
कर्णश्च च
समितिं जयः
कृपश्च
अश्वत्थामा
समीजितजयः
विकर्णश्च
अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च
सौमदत्तेस्तथैव च
सोमदत्तस्तेव च
अन्ये च बहवः शूरा
अन्ये च बहवः शूरा
मदर्ते त्यक्तजीवितः
मदर्थे व्यक्तजीविया जीविता
नानाशस्त्रप्रहराणः सर्वे
नानाशस्त्रपहाराणा
युद्धविशारदः
सर्वे युद्धविशारदा
अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं
अप्रयातं
बलं
तदास्मकं
भीष्माभिरक्षितम्
बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितं
पर्याप्तं त्वमिदमेतेषां
पर्याप्तं
बलं
त्विद्मेषेतां
भीमाभिरक्षितम्
बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम्
अयनेषु च सर्वेषु
अन्येषु च
यथा
सर्वेषु
भागम् अवस्थितः
यथा भागम्
भीष्मम्
अवस्थितः
एवाभिरक्षन्तु
भीमाभिः
भवन्तः सर्व एव हि
भवन्तः सर्व एव हि
तस्य सञ्जनयन् हर्षम्
तस्य
कुरुवृद्धः
सञ्जनहर्षम्
पितामहः
गुरुवृद्धा पितामहः
सिंहनादं विनद्योच्चै
सिंहनादं विनदोचे
शङ्खं दद्मौ प्रतापवान्
शङ्खं दद्मो
तथा
प्रताप
शङ्खाश्च भैर्यश्च
तथा शङ्काश्च भैर्यश्च
पणवानकगोमुखः
धन्वानकोमुख
सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्त स शब्दस्तु मुलोऽभवत्
स शब्दस्तुमुलोऽभवत्
तथा श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते
तथा
महती
श्वेतैर्हरिर्मुक्ते
स्यन्दने स्थितौ
महति
माधवः
स्यैनन्ते स्थितो
पाण्डवश्चैव
माधवा
दिव्यो
पाण्डवश्च
शङ्खौ प्रदद्मतुः
दिव्यो शङ्खोपदत्
पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो
पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो
देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः
देवदत्तं धनञ्जय
पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खम्
पौण्ड्रं दन्धो
भीमकर्मा
महाशङ्खं
वृकोदरः
भीमकर्माभिकोदर
अनन्तविजयं राजा
अनन्तविजयं राजा
कुन्तीपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः
कुन्तीपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः
नकुलः सह देवश्च
नकुलः सह देवश्च
सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ
सुघोषो मणिपुष्पकौ
काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः
काश्यश्च परमेश्वर च
शिखण्डी च महारथः
शिखण्डी च महारथः
दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च
दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च
सात्यकिश्च पराजितः
सा-
द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च
द्रुपदो
सर्वशः पृथिवीपते
सर्वशः पृथ्वीपते
सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः
सौभद्रश्च महाबाहो
शङ्खान् दद्मौ पृथक् पृथक्
शङ्खाद्रं तु पृथक् पृथक्
सघोषो धार्तराष्ट्राणाम् हृदयानि व्यदारयत्
विद्यानि
नभश्च
व्यदारयत्
पृथिवींश्चैव
नभश्च पृथ्वीं चैव
तुम्लोभ्यानुनादयन्
तुं लोभ्यां
अथ
नुनादयन्
व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा
अथ व्यथितान् दृष्ट्वा
धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः
धार्तराष्ट्रकपिध्वज
प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते
प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते
धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः
धनुरुद्यं पाण्डवाः
ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम्
ऋषिकेश तदा वाक्यम्
इदमाहा महीपते
इदमा महीपते
अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये
सेनयोर्भयो
रथं
मध्ये
स्थाप्यमेच्युत
रथं स्थाप्यमेच्युत
यावदेता निरीक्षेऽहम्
तन्निरीक्ष्यतेऽहम्
योद्धुकामानवस्थितान्
योद्धुकामान्
कैर्मया
व्यवस्थितान्
सह योद्धाव्यम्
कर्मया स योद्धव्यम्
अस्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे
अस्मिन् रणसमुद्गमे
योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहम् यद् एते ये एत्र समागतः
यतेत्रे समागता
धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेर्
धार्तराष्ट्रस्य
युद्धे
दुर्बुद्धे
प्रियचिकीर्षवः
युद्धे प्रीचिकीर्षव
सञ्जय उवाच
सञ्जय उवाच
एवमुक्तो ऋषिकेशो
एवमुक्तो ऋषिकेशो
गुडाकेशेन भारत
गुडाकेशेन भारत
सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये
सेनयोरुभयो मध्ये
स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम्
स्थापित्वा रथोत्ततम्
भीष्मद्रोणा प्रमुखतः
भीष्मद्रोण प्रमुक्ततः
सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम्
सर्वेषां च
उवाच पार्थ
महीक्षिताम्
पश्यैतान्
उवाच पार्थ पश्येतान्
समवेतान् कुरुनिति
संवेतान्
तत्र
कुरुनिति
पश्चात् स्थितान् पार्थ
पश्चात्स्थिति
पितॄन् अथ पितामहान्
इति पितामहान्
आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन्
मातुल भारतन्
पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा
पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा
स्वशुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि
सैन्योरुभयोरपि
तान् समीक्ष्य कौन्तेय
तान् समीक्ष्य सा
सर्वान्
कौन्तेय
बन्धून् अवस्थितान्
सर्वान् बन्धान्
कृपया
अवस्थितान्
पर्याविष्टो
कृपया पर्याविष्टो
विषिदन् इदमब्रवीत्
विषिदानिदम्
अर्जुन
अब्रवीत्
उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
दृष्ट्वेवं स्वजनं कृष्ण
दृष्टेशं स्वजन् कृष्ण
युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितम्
युयुत्सं
सीदन्ति
समुपस्थितं
मम गात्राणि
सीदन्ति मम
मुखं च
गत्राणि
परिशुष्यति
मुखं च परिशुष्यति
वेपतुश्च शरीरे मे
वेपतुस्य च शरीरे मे
रोमहर्षस्य जायते
रोमहर्षश्च जायते
गान्धीवं संसते हस्तात्
गाण्डीवं सशस्ते हत्वा
त्वच्चैवापरिदह्यते न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम्
न च शक्योपस्थापितुं
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
चैत च
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
विपरीतानि केशव
विपरीतानि केशव
न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि
न च
हत्वा
श्रेयोनुपश्यामि
स्वजनम् आहवे
हत्वा
न
स्वजन्माहवे
काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण
न काङ्के विजयं
न च
कृष्ण
राज्यं सुखानि च
न च राज्यं सुखानि
किं
च
नो राजेन गोविन्द
नो राजेन गोविन्द
किं भोगे जीवितेन वा
जीवित
येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो
समर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो
राज्यं भोगः सुखानि च
राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च
तेनैव स्थिता युद्धे
विशिष्ट युद्धे
प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्यः पितरः पुत्रास्
आचार्य पितरः
तथैव
पुत्राः
च पितामहः
तथैव च पितामहः
मातुला स्वसुरः पौत्र शालः सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतान् हन्तुमिच्छामि घ्नतोऽपि मधुसूदन
कृन्तोऽपि मधुसूदन
अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य
अपि त्रैलोक्ये
हेतुः
राजस्य
किं नु मही कृते
हेतो किं नो महि
निहत्य
कृते
धार्तराष्ट्राणाम् का प्रीतिः स्यात् जनार्दन Papamevashrayedasman
Evam
Hatvetanatatayinaha
Atvetanatayasti
Tasmanarha vayam hantum Dhartarashtran sabandhavan
Tatirashtan
Swajanam hi katam
Pandava
hatva Sukinaha syama madhava
Sukinasyama Madhava
Yatyapete na pashyanti
Yasya Pete na Pashyanti
Lobho bahata chetasaha
Lobo Pahat
Kulakshaya
Chetasaha
kritam dosham
Kulakshikritam Dosham
Mitradohe japatakam
Mitradrohe
Katham
Chapatakam
nageyam asmabhihi
Katam Nagayam Smabhi
Papadasma nivartitum
Papamasman Nivartitum
Kulakshaya kritam dosham
Kulakshya Kritam Dosham
Prapashyat bhirjanardana
Prapasyati Janardhana
Kulakshaya pranashyanti
Kulakshe Pranashanti
Kuladharmaha sanatanaha
Kuladharma Sanatanaha
Dharme nashte kulam kritsnam
Dharme Nashte Kulam Krutsam
Adharmo bhi bhavatyuta
Adharmo Bhi Bhavatyut
Adharma bhi bhavat Krishna Pradushyanti kulastriyaha
Tasyanti
Srishu
Kulastriya
dushta suvarshneya Jayate varna sankaraha
Jayate Vanashankara
Sankaro narakayeva
Shankaro Narkayeva
Kuladhanam kulasya cha
Kulanna
Patanti
Kulasya cha
pitero yesham
Patanti Pitroho
Lupta
Sham
pindo takakriya
Dupta Pindo
Doshereter kulagnanam
Dosherete Kalakranam
Varna sankara karakai
Vanashankar Karike
Sadhyante jati dharmaha
Sandhe Jati Dharma
Kuladharmascha shashvataha
Kuladharmascha Shashwata
Utsanna kuladharmanam
Usana Kuldharmanam
Manushyanam janardana
Manusyanam Janardana
Narake niyatam vaso
Narke Niyatam Vaso
Bhavatityat anushrama Aho patmahat papam
Ahobat Mahapa
Kartum vyavasita vayam
Kartum
Yat
Vyavastiveyam
raja sukhalobhena
Yadrajya
Hantum
Sukulobhena
swajana udyataha Yadi mam apratikaram
Imam
Ashastram shastrapanayah
Ashastam Shastrapaneya
Dhartarashtrarani hanyas
Tatrashtarane
Tanme
Hanyutam
shemataram bhavet Sanjay uvacha Evam
Devacha
uktvarjunaha sanghe
Evam Muktajun Sankhye
Tatopastha upavishat
Ratopastha Upavishat
Visajya sasharam chapam
Visajisha Sharam
Shoka
Chapam
samvigna manasaha
Manasa
Om and all together. Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad-gita-shu Upanishadsu Dhamma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna
Arjun
Samvade
Sambhate
Arjuna Vishata Yogo
Adi Yoga
Nama
Nam
Prathamo Adhyaya
Pratmodhyay
Hari Om. Now we'll all do the English translation together because not all of us understand English. So now um, focus on the meaning because we'll go and discuss later in the class. So starting with verse number 1, translation. We'll read it together. Just be mindful of the commas and semicolons and full stops like that. So we pause a little bit there and try to hear others around you so that we are reading it in unison. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhan went to his teacher and spoke the following words. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhim and Arjuna, great fighters like Yuyudhan, Virat, and Drupada. They are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kunti Bhoj, and Shepya. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. These, yeah, I want you to speak louder. Put some energy. This is Bhagavad-gita. Okay? Starting from the beginning. Here, there are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are specially qualified to lead my military force. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somdatta called Bhushishava, who are always victorious in battle. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhim, is limited. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhan joy. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, seated on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devdatta, and Bhim, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Pondra. King Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Anant Vijaya, and Nakul and Sahadev blew the Sughosh and Manu Pushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtadyumna, Virat, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as the mighty arm, son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. So what's the name of the mighty arm, son of Subhadra? Abhimanyu. Very good for 500 points. The blowing of these different conch shells becomes uproarious. Vibrating both in the sky and on the earth, it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra, drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in these great trials of arms. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. There, Arjun could see, within the midst of the armies of both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow, Gandiva, is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself when all those from whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. O Krishna, maintainer of people, I have heard from disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me, unarmed and unresisting, on the battlefield. Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. So that brings us to the end of chapter number 1. And now we will go and dig deeper into this chapter. And for those of you who have been coming here earlier, know that we started with chapter 1 last time we had this session, which was a couple of weeks ago. And we went and discussed all the way up to verse number 20. So I do see a lot of new faces here. I'm so happy. I'm so glad that you made the decision to come here. And should we have a round of quick introduction? Just say your name. You want to introduce? Yeah.
Sure. Just introduce yourself.
नाम बताओ ना.
Now,
Hello. So Karan Chaudhary. What else?
From where? कहाँ से आ रहे हो?
कहाँ से आ रहे हो?
Los Altos.
Where are you traveling from? Coming
So coming from Los Altos and working with Shraddha Mataji on several projects.
Nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for all the help you give.
Daksh. My
Okay.
nephew.
That is attending anonymous.
Kunal, and I'm Neeraj's brother, coming from Fremont.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've heard your name. Normally he used to say, I'm going to my brother's place. I'm happy to see you. Yeah, brothers. Wow. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to meet you finally.
My name is Ryan, and I'm his son.
Wow.
So nephew.
Nice, nice.
His son.
Right.
Yeah.
His nephew.
You have to say Neeraj is my chachu.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
and he's my son.
Neeraj becomes your chachu. Okay, good. Very nice.
Okay, my name is Deepan and I'm from Fremont and I am Neeraj's Bhavan.
I think I met you, right?
Yes,
Yes.
we've met a few.
Yeah. Remember
Hi,
that one.
I'm Aradhana, and my son goes to school with Keshri, Neeraj's daughter. So that's how we are connected. And this is our first time.
Nice, nice, nice. See how the kids bring you to Krishna consciousness. Very nice.
Hi, I am Aradhana's mom, and I am from India.
Awesome.
You all are from India.
Yeah, she's actually visiting.
I know, I understand.
You have some good
Hare Krishna. I'm Shweta and I'm from Fremont.
Hare Krishna, my name is Shamalangi, and I am Shraddha-devi Disciple.
God sister.
Good morning, everyone.
Just 1 second. Let me bring it down.
I just say cloud.
Yeah.
I'm Neha. I also are here in Fremont. She's my mother-in-law. That's why I said lunch because he was introducing stuff. And I am Neera's husband.
Nice. Very nice.
Why is not pitches? My name is Tejas and it is Fremont. Oh, I'm Sriram, live in Fremont. I'm University. Years post house out. Very nice.
Nice.
Oh, I'm Rakesh. And Shraddha-devi living in opposite. Thank you everyone for coming. And especially Shraddha-devi also. Wonderful class, and he's so consistent every time. When we started this, when the pandemic started, it's been happening every. We used to have it every day, because everyone was at home. Right? So then she kept the momentum going, and at least we had someone to connect with. And made us think. We don't happen many times, but at least she consistently having all the. Helping all the souls that stay connected to Krishna and bring positivity in life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, I always look forward to coming here. The atmosphere is there's something about this one. It's very, very divine. And yeah, we used to do that in your old home there, right? Very awesome. Okay, so we will go back to sharing the screen and we will start from verse number 20. I think that's where I had marked it last time. I've got to bring my mouse. I'm kind of handicapped. Can you see verse number 5? Okay, you do. Okay, let's go to verse number 20 then. Let's get started here. So basically, hold on just 1 second. I'm also joined from here to see the participants. So when we did chapter verses number 1 to 20, so it starts with the beginning of the Kurukshetra war, where Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjay that all these armies assembled and what did they do? So he starts telling what they did do. So basically, he starts with that Duryodhan came and he went to his teacher, his spiritual master, and said that, look at all these military arrangements. And then he also talks about his fighters on his side and fighters on the Pandava side. And then we see that, Bhishma Pitama, who's the head from the Kaurava side, he blows his conch shell, and as soon as Bhishma Pitama declares the war is begun or about to begin, then others also start blowing the conch shells. And as we read also today, that they have names Panchajanyam, Rishikesha, Devadatta, Dhananjaya. So the names of all the conch shells. And then everybody starts right? So then, so we see in the beginning that Duryodhan was observing the army, and that is something. And we were also drawing the parallels between Mahabharata and how does Bhagavad Gita apply in our life, right? So this is a war. There's a war is between Kauravas and Pandavas in Mahabharata, but there's always a Mahabharata going on inside us and outside us also. You agree? Or? Yes, very good, right? So, so we have to look at and observe both Duryodhan as well as Arjuna to see what they were doing. So Duryodhana was looking at the strength, right? Atrashuram Heshwara, and the strength of the enemies also. He's looking at both of them together. And so this is also what we should do. We should also look at our strengths and we should also be looking at our enemies. So what do you think are our enemies? No enemies? Huh?
Kam, Krodh, Lobh.
Mind is your enemy? Is anybody's mind is good or just your mind?
Could be a best friend or an enemy.
Mind could be a best friend or your enemy. Very good. Yeah. So in the beginning, mind is your enemy and tends to be enemy. Even when it's a friend, every now and then it'll become your enemy. Right, yeah. So mind is your enemy. So when your mind is your enemy, then you have to see that, okay, there's my enemy. Let me see what are the pluses of the enemy and what are the minuses of the enemy, right? So then the plus of the enemy is, as Neera Prabhu is saying, that it can become your friend also. So that's a plus. So that is where I should be focusing on. My strategy should be that I have to make this my enemy into my friend, right? And we have also noticed that when two people fight, and you see that all the time in Bollywood movies, right? The hero and the heroine are fighting, they're from grew together, they fight like dogs and cats, and then they fall in love and they get married, right? So same thing happens with the mind also. Mind is your biggest of enemy, but then, when it becomes your friend, it'll become your biggest friend. The same mind that tells you like, let's not go to Krishna Katha, let's go and watch a movie. The same mind will start scolding you and, make you get up in the morning and say like, why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Like that. So from this, we should learn how you should always be observant and vigilant of, the strengths of the enemy. And so now in this verse, Arjuna he's trying to look at the military arrangement of the Pandavas, right? So he says that Arjuna, the son of Pandu, is seated in the chariot and it is bearing the flag marked with Hanuman. So there is a reason why these kind of things are pointed out. And what's the big thing? Every chariot had a flag on it. And so Hanuman, we are from India, we do, we do demigod worship. So this Hanuman is there, right? But something to notice over here is that these are the indications that are coming of the war. Now, this war was in Dharamkshetra, Kurukshetra. The war is happening in a holy land. And so in a holy land, if the evil and the good are fighting, who is going to win? It's the good that's going to win because they have the home ground advantage, right? And so, so here also there's another advantage that the chariot on which Arjuna is seated. So Arjuna's chariot had horses, right? Shweter Hare Rukte. So they were white colored horses. So on the top of that chariot, there is Hanuman. And so Hanuman was also participated in another war. What was that war? Hanuman participated? In Ramayana. Right. So he did that in Ramayana. So, and so wherever Hanuman is, there is victory. Whichever side Hanuman is, there is victory. So they are portraying and they're showing that, look, here Hanuman is already sitting on the top of the chariot. So it's guaranteed that the Pandavas are going to win, right? And then, so he looked, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra, so he's looking at them, and then he speaks to Krishna. And so Krishna is his? In the war, Krishna is his? Chariot driver, right? Okay. So then he says, okay, oh infallible one. Infallible means that whatever you do, it always happens. So Krishna is saying infallible, never fall down, you never fail, right? He says, please, pick up my chariot and pull it up in the army, two armies, so that I may see those present here with desire to fight. He's saying, and which is also a very good thing. He's now observing the armies, and that is the name of the chapter, right? Observing the armies in the battlefield. Okay. So when you're looking at the armies, if you are looking at devotional service, that's why we are all here. If you're looking at devotional service and we are looking at the enemies and we're looking at our friends and the armies, so what sort of army do you think you have on your side? What is your army as you enter the fight against Maya? Which is your army? What is your army constituting of?
On the parts of the body.
Say that again.
On the parts of the body.
all the parts of the body. So, okay, your body is there to fight. Okay. Your knowledge, very good. What sort of knowledge? Of guns or what knowledge? Spiritual knowledge, very good. Okay.
Discipline.
Discipline, very good. Yes. What else? Huh? Faith, very good. Okay. Devotee association, very good. I was waiting for that, right? And then there are holy dham, right? There are places where you can go. And of course, the holy name is there, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, right? So he says, I want to see who they are. So let me see those who have come here to fight. And so then Sanjay says, okay. Then when Arjuna said that to Krishna, Krishna is his chariot driver, he will obey. So he drew the fine chariot in the middle. So he goes bang there and he draws the chariot and stops it bang in the middle of the two armies. And where in the middle of the two armies? The armies were huge. Kaurava's army was really especially very huge. But he goes and puts and stops the chariot right in front of Bhishma, Drona, right? These people. Because Krishna has a strategy, there's something going on in his head. And that's why he goes and stops the chariot there. And says, oh Partha, look at the Kurus. And so Krishna is very judicious about the choice of his the words in Bhagavad-gita. Sometimes he will, address him by a certain name, like, oh, just behold Partha. So when he says Partha, he's trying to emphasize the fact that you are the son of Pritha. Your mother is Pritha, a very well-known, devotee and a very powerful lady and a very strong lady. Right? You are her son. So Partha, go look at them and look at whom? The Kurus. So he says Kurus means look at your relatives. Kurus, they were the relatives, right? So he says, look at them, look at Kurus. So Arjuna could see. And what could Arjuna see there? What is he seeing? He went there to see, but in the previous verse he said, I want to see the evil-minded sons of Duryodhana, of Dhritarashtra, who have come to fight with me. That's what he said. But now when he looks at that, what is he seeing there? He's saying his friends, he's seeing his friends, he's saying, so see how attachment can make you see things and make you not see things. And mothers are always guilty of that. They are accused of not seeing anything bad in their children. Right? Mother Yashoda is the epitome of that. Right? People go and complain to her and say that your son is stealing butter. And she says, my son, I don't think so. I don't think he does that.
The father.
That's right. So Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies. And he sees all his friends there, and father-in-law and brother well-wishers and all that, right? So when he sees all that, then he becomes overwhelmed with compassion. Overwhelmed, and then he's saying, now he will speak. Okay? So his attachment is bringing that. Otherwise, he was there in the chariot, right? He was blown his conch shell, everything ready to fight. Now he says, my dear Krishna, I'm seeing my friends and relatives, right? And in such a fighting spirit. And what is happening to him? I feel my limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. And Raki Prabhu said just now that all the parts of your body are with your strength to fight, right? But then when you are overcome with so much of attachment, you are entangled in so much of attachment, this Arjuna, who is a Kshatriya and a well-known warrior, right? He hardly lost anything. And his limbs of his body are quivering. हाथ पैर मेरे कांप रहे हैं and my mouth is drying up, and so you can just imagine there's this big war that is going up, and the chief on this side of the war, Arjuna, on which everybody is focused, and he's saying हाथ कांप रहे हैं मेरे. Okay, so my whole body is trembling, हाथ पैर नहीं पूरा body कांप रहा है. My hair is standing on my hand, रोकटे खड़े हो गए, and my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hands. That same Gandiva, right, which nobody could lift, only Arjuna could, right? And his skin is burning. So when he stands up, so now his temperature has gone up, his skin is burning. So do you ever feel like that? I feel like that before every meeting. Remember? Right? So look at that. Look at how much impact the mind can have on the body. I'm not unable to stand here any longer. He's ready to fight, right? Fight or flight. So Arjuna is taking the route. Flight. I can't stand here. I'm going. I'm forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I only see causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. Right? So this is what is happening to me. And then now, he's coming up with excuses. Right? Excuses because he doesn't want to fight, because now he's not seeing them as enemy, he's seeing his relatives standing there. I do not see how good can come. So that he lost all his reasoning. After all the bad things that the Kauravas had been doing to the Pandavas, years and years and years, decades and decades and decades they were doing it to them. But now he's just saying, I can't see any good will come out if I kill these people, right? The same people who are evil-minded sons of Dhritarashtra. He doesn't want to do that, right? And then he says, I don't desire any subsequent victory or kingdoms. He's ready to give up everything, right? I don't want this, I don't want that. So then he says, what of avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. So this is a very interesting thing, that when you want to enjoy something, right? When you want to enjoy, and Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He has this enjoyment spirit, and since we are part and parcel of Krishna, right? We are part and parcel of Krishna, so therefore we also have a little bit of that enjoyment spirit. We want to enjoy, right? Anybody who doesn't want to enjoy? Yeah, okay, good. I'm not the only one. So he's saying that, what good am I going to get from this, from my desire now, if I kill all these people who are there? And why is he thinking like that is that when you have to enjoy, you need a partner. Like even if you have to go to a movie, you would like to go with a friend or family or somebody like that, right? So we always need a partner. And from where is that concept coming in our mind that, we need a partner to enjoy? Why we can't enjoy alone? Because you cannot enjoy alone. There has to be an enjoyer and there has to be an enjoyed. So that combination has to be there. That's why Krishna created all of us. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. That's why he created so many of us, right? So he's saying that he's a supreme enjoyer, he's an enjoyer, but now he wants to give up. And then he's saying, towards the end, he says that, why should I wish to kill them even though they might otherwise kill me? So he's gone to the extreme, has become a Mahatma. He said, like, even though they might kill me, I'm not going to kill them. They're going to slap one face, I'm going to slap the one cheek, I'm going to show them the other cheek. Something like that, right? And then he's saying, I am not going to fight. I am not going to fight, even if you give me, in exchange, you give me 3 worlds, 3 worlds you give me, like all the 3 worlds, 14 lokas you give me, right? Forget about this earth. I mean, of course, Mahabharat war meant that you would rule this earth planet. And what pleasure will be derived, right? Even if you're ruling over the whole world, your cousins are not there. You enjoy with cousins, right? Like that. So he's saying, how can I do that? I don't want to fight. So that is looking at it from the perspective of being attached to his family. He's coming up with this excuse, right? And he'll continue with his excuse, right? Now he's trying to make sure that to convince Krishna. That is what he's trying to do. And he says that sin will overcome us. So now from the attachment, from the part that, this is my uncle or this is my grandfather that I don't want to kill, now he's moving towards, trying to give us some rationale behind why I should not fight. So he's now saying, but if I kill them, there'll be sin. And why will there be sin? Why will sin overcome? Because you're killing your relatives. And you're also killing your teacher, Dronacharya, right? Was his teacher. So these are not, proper things to do. And then he says, what should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? Husband of the goddess of fortune is Madhava, right? Madhava. When Krishna is addressed as Madhava, you see in this verse, Arjuna is addressing him as Madhava. And he has a point there in addressing Krishna as Madhava. Because Madhava is somebody who brings good fortune. So he's saying, Krishna, you are somebody who brings good fortune to people, right? And here, how can I kill them? What fortune will I get? You will understand that. You will understand that, Krishna, that there will not be any fortune coming to me if I commit sins. Right? So you know that. So he's, second point he's raising there to say that why I will not get. Then the third point that he's raising here to why he should not fight is that, okay, so he's saying, well, if I kill them, there will be sin. But then he says that, okay, these people who are ready to kill us, I mean, on their side also it will be a sin, right? Because they are relatives. If Arjuna killing Kauravas is a sin, then Kauravas killing the Pandavas is also a sin, right? And so he's saying that, okay, even if they don't understand that They don't understand that, and that's why they are willing to fight. But we understand that. तुम तो समझदार हो, हम तो समझदार हैं, right? We understand that. Why should we fight, right? So, why we should not be indulging in that, right? Then he goes further, and now he's saying, looking not at, giving the reasons for why he should not fight. But he continues on with the reason of why we should not fight, but now he's talking about post-war symptoms, what's going to happen after the war is over. So what's going to happen after the war is over? The dynasty will be finished. The Guru dynasty will be completely finished. Now, when the dynasty is finished, right, then what happens is that, like, Bhishma Pitamaha was there. The old people are there, right? Nowadays, those of us who are living in a nuclear family, we sometimes miss the fact that we are not in a joint family, right? Especially when we fight with our spouses, and there is no end to that. Because if you're living with your in-laws or living with the parents, then when you number one, you won't fight like that. Number two, even if you fight, then some elderly person will drill some sense into our head or come and just scold us and say, just stop it and don't do that, right? And because that is not happening, because the elderly people are not there, right? For various reasons. That's the reason we are having so many divorces and so many disjoint families and mental problems and all that kind of stuff. It's coming because of that. So now Arjuna is saying that with the destruction of the dynasty, if Bhishma Pitamaha is gone, then who will be the wise and the elderly person to tell you? And I see that so many times that couples come from India, same with me. Young people, they come here, they get married, they come over here, and then they have a child, and they have no idea what to do. And by way of any traditions or anything to be done, no idea how to observe a festival, what does this mean, because there's no elderly person to tell them. If it was India, somebody would have, told them, and they would have got it from the cultural momentum there, right? So, if you don't have elderly people around you, if Bhishma Pitamaha is gone, then any of these things that we were doing traditionally, all that will be gone. All that will not happen, right? And so when you're not following the traditions, like one of the traditions is you get up in the morning, you touch the feet of your parents, or you go up in the morning, go and bow down before deities. These are traditions that we have. When you get up first thing in the morning, I remember I had a friend when I was in Haridwar, working in Haridwar, Soni Saab Rakesh. And so once I was in Haridwar when I was working, then I got transferred and I came to Delhi. And sometimes I used to, as part of my work, I had to go back to Haridwar. And I was at Bharat Heavy Electricals, and they had a big plant there. And so when I used to go there, I used to stay with one of my friends, Soni and his wife, Meena Bhabhi. And so one day I noticed that, Soni was he went to take a bath, and in Haridwar it is cold. Even in the summers, in the morning the water will be cold because it's straight Ganges water that comes even in your home, like that. So as he would put one, I could, from outside, I could guess he was putting one lota of water in, and he said, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. I'm like, oh wow, that's a very nice way of doing that. Nobody told me how to do it. It's a very nice thing. So if this comes from family tradition, and if there are no elderly people around you, then those family traditions are lost. You do whatever you want to do, whatever comes to your head, whatever you think is right, you just do it, right? So when the elderly are gone, then the family gets indulged or gets engaged or involved in irreligion. The irreligion, what is irreligion and what is irreligion? Irreligion is when you don't follow the Shastras. You just go and do whatever you want to do. Here you don't know, and then you go and ask anybody and everybody what to do, and they will tell you what they know, right? So whenever you have doubts, you should be following the Shastra, or go to Guru and ask the question, or go to a senior Vaishnava and ask the question there, right? So Arjuna is telling that this is what's going to happen in the future. And then when irreligion is prominent, when irreligion becomes prominent, then he's saying the women of the family will get polluted. Women of the family will get polluted. And when the women are degraded, then you will get unwanted progeny, right? And you see here a lot, and it's happening in India also, right? That Friday night means it's a date night, right? And then there is unwanted progeny, unwanted children. And then when you have unwanted population, nobody wants to own it. Grandparents, certainly not. Parents, they have no clue. They're already under drugs. So this is an unwanted population, then the life becomes hell for everybody, right? So the life becomes hell for one who destroyed the family tradition, and of course the family whose tradition is destroyed. So Arjuna is telling that this is what's going to happen in the war. Then, after having told things from his own mind, right? He's giving things from his own mind. I think this, I think that, don't you think so? Like that, right? This is what Arjuna is saying. But now he's saying, I have heard from disciplic succession. Now he's saying, it's not only that I say that, others also say it. That's what I've heard from disciplic succession, right? The important thing is from disciplic succession, not from anybody and everybody. Like from some nice guru, Brahma, and then Narada, like that. From a disciplic succession, I've said that all of them are saying certain things. And what are they saying? That if the family traditions are destroyed, then they always dwell in hell. Right? The people. Right? So they'll always be there in the hellish planets and nothing will be done. Because when we have this family tradition of offering Shraddha ceremony, right? We do the Shraddha ceremony for the ancestors. So why exactly do we go and offer the food, especially the favorite food of our ancestors? Because we are taking care of that situation that our ancestors who died, if they did not get a body, they will be waiting in the planet of the ancestors called Pitri Loka. Right? And in Pitri Loka, they have to eat food. And so this is the mechanism by which they eat food, is that their generations after them should be offering food to them through this Shraddha ceremony. So now, if there's nobody to tell you that should be a Shraddha ceremony, then the ancestors are going to be there or they'll fall down from there. Like that, right? So, if you have not been doing the Shraddha ceremony, but if you are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if you are leading a Krishna conscious life, then that's okay, right? Actually, a better thing for you to do on a Shraddha ceremony of your ancestors, instead of distributing food to thousands of people, is to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets. In the name of your ancestors, give all these Shastric books away to people so that so many people will be benefited by that. That's the best welfare activity that you can do for anybody, is to bring them to Krishna consciousness, is to bring them towards God. Because sadly, these days, people are forgetting that there is God, right? So then he's just saying that, again, he's rationalizing, and he's just saying that, oh, I feel so bad that, knowing that these are great sinful activities, yet we are just still wanting to do that. Why are we wanting to do that? Because we want our own happiness. I want the Raj, I want the kingdom, I want the power, I want the wealth, like that, right? And then in order to get that, we are just willing to kill our own kinsmen. And do you see that happening? Businessmen, do they kill their kinsmen? Or politicians, they even kill their children or mother, right? Like that. So it happens all the time. So Arjuna is just saying we should not do that, right? So then on the other extreme, he's just saying that, okay, it is better. So now, when the Kshatriyas used to fight, there were certain rules and regulations under which they fought. And one of the rules was that you will fight like to like. Like if you are one who has a sword, then you will fight with somebody else who has a sword, right? Like a person with a sword won't go and start fighting with a person who has a stick, because what odds are there, right, for the stick wala to win. So here, and then of course one of them was that if the other person, suppose both of them have got a sword, and one of them the sword falls from their hand, then that doesn't mean that we will jump on that opportunity and then go kill him. That was not the Kshatriya spirit. They would say, no. You pick up that sword and let's fight. Because fighting for the Kshatriyas was not just a fight, it was also a game. Like how we play the cricket game, football game, let's make a goal. So for them, fighting the wars was a game for them. And so here, what he's saying, Arjuna, in this verse, is saying the other extreme. He's other extreme, and he's saying that, if they were to kill me unarmed, he's saying if the sons of the Rashtra, if the Kurus just kill me, even when I don't have a weapon in my hand, that is even better. It is better for me to die that way. So much better for me to die that way than to kill my own relatives and my teachers and so on. Right? So then Arjuna cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down in the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. So he has been thinking about all these things, right? He's given so many justifications. He's overwhelmed when he sees his relatives standing in front of him. his body was quivering, he had temperature there, the gandhi was slipping from his hand, and then what did he do? He cast aside his bow and arrow and he sat down. Now, sitting down in the beginning of the war is not a good sign, like that, right? So we'll pause here and let's discuss on what we have heard so far and how it connects to our lives. This was Arjuna facing dilemma, right? This is Arjuna's dilemma. Do you ever face any dilemma in your life? Any dilemmas that you like to announce on internet? Any examples? We can pass the mic around. Any dilemma? No dilemma?
Well, not, but no, I don't know. I'm different to talk about.
Unmentionables? I will tell you a small story while you're thinking about dilemmas in your life. There was a princess, and I think it was the story set in Greece. So there was a princess, and she fell in love with an ordinary man, which is not thought of or done or acceptable in the royal family. So she fell in love with a ordinary man, and the father finds that out. And obviously the king is full of rage and fury and is about to kill him or get him killed. But then the daughter, she just beseeches and says, okay, at least, don't kill him. Why don't you do that other thing that you do when you find, these kind of situations? Why don't you do the other punishment that you have or the other thing that you do? So the king says, okay, let's do that. So what was that other thing? The other thing was that the whole, village or the town where the king lived and the princess lived would all gather in the arena. And the king would come and this man would also be there. And they would also bring a cage. And inside the cage would be covered with curtains so that you will not know. And then they would bring another cage. They would bring another cage, also covered. And in one of the cages, there's a beautiful woman. And in the other cage, there is a ferocious lion. And the rule of the game was that this man has to choose one of the cages. And if he chooses the lady, he gets to marry the lady. If he chooses the lion, he has to fight the lion. And this lion has been hungry for 14 days. And this man has no weapons in his hands. Like that, right? So sure shot death like that. So then this princess also comes to the arena, and the man is brought, the cages are already there, and the man looks at the princess, and the princess raises the left hand to indicate that you choose the left cage. And then the story ends there, and he says, so which one was it, the lady or the lion? So before we take few steps before that, what would be the dilemma in the mind of the lady, of the princess? Do you think she went through some dilemma? The princess, yeah. Of course, the man has a dilemma. Which one? That's a well-known dilemma, right? But the princess indicated by the left hand, right? And said, left hand indication, you pick up the left one, right? Say that. Say that again.
Is that left hand, but the other person may not interpret correctly, right? My left can be her right, his right.
So that is a dilemma. She will face that. Is my communication right? Right? You could interpret it wrong, yes. Even before that, I was expecting from the ladies to get the answer.
In the case, there's another woman.
Uh-huh.
The dilemma might be that if I actually tell him that right cage, he will marry.
Exactly. I was looking for that answer. Exactly. That's a dilemma.
But still,
Yeah. Should I let my lover die in front of the lion, or should I let him be a lion and marry her? Not me. That's the dilemma. Now think about it. Have you ever faced dilemmas?
Let's talk about today's dilemma.
Yes. On the microphone. Is it microphoneable?
So right now, Madhuri, so it's like dilemma because there's a lot of work happening right now. Like the mind is very dilemma. Should I be still wondering? It's not a dilemma, but it's basically still wondering. Okay, I have something to complete right now, but I'm still here. I know I'm in a good place. I found something that's done. So each day there's a dilemma. Okay, should I focus on work? I mean, the work goes besides the boundaries. Also to home. So that's a dilemma every day.
It's an everyday dilemma.
Where should I spend this hour? That's a dilemma that happens.
Very rightly said. Very rightly pointed. But there is a dilemma every day. Every day of our life, we have a dilemma. Any other dilemmas? Yeah, take the microphone. There are people on the internet. Yeah.
And this is more like a decision making that we have to do.
Yes.
My son is going to be my here now, so for a long time, which is still going on at the public school or private schools.
There you go.
Right decision or
Yes.
wrong decision. So I don't know if it is like it can be broken down into smaller dilemmas, but this is one of the bigger things.
The dilemma, the dilemma of the parents. Yes.
Like every decision that you make, you kind of try to get
Right.
right. And you can't do that, but then also can't get out of it because you deliberately cannot be careless about decisions, whether it is even for small things.
Exactly.
I think as a parent, that's one.
Exactly. Yeah. What dilemma do devotees face?
I think it's something.
Yeah.
So, no, not like devotees, but this is like after I came to the US for 8 years. So, for I think for 10 years, I think in 2001. And it took me like at least 8-9 years. I was always in the telling whether I should stay, if we should stay here or go back to India. If I go to India, I think all the good stuff of US. If I'm in US, I think of all the good stuff in India. So, and parents are telling you should come back, some relatives telling you should stay here. So that was a big dilemma which got resolved after I started going to Silicon Valley. And, because then I found a purpose here, which made it stronger than any other thing that I could make a decision, at least in my mind, not that so that's something I could think of.
Yeah, and that's interesting thing Shyamala you mentioned is that the mind is telling her that the good things about USA, the good thing about India, the mind is the enemy. And after planning all these thoughts, then it sits back and laughs at your dilemma, right? Yeah. Any other dilemmas you face? How about jobs? Any dilemma at jobs? Should I do this? Should I not do that?
Yeah, there's.
Microphone number?
I think I become.
Online.
Oh, okay.
Online लोगों को सुनाई नहीं देता है.
So, dilemma is not always about responsibility or something. Recently there were guests at my home, visiting from my mother's place, and I also had very tight schedule for deadlines. So, smallest dilemma, should I finish this work now, or should I spend time with them? Right? Smallest things to like a job, right? There will be always some people that work differently from us. So there is always a dilemma. How much should I give it? How much should I cooperate? Or should I just let go of the story and go somewhere else? The dilemma is in every aspect, whether it's small or big. It's
always there. Daily dilemma to dilemma every second. Right? It is. Yeah, we are in this situation. Can you switch on the light? A little bit. I'm not able to see your faces. Okay, so we also saw Arjuna. We also see Arjuna gave so many reasons for not fighting, and all the reasons that he gave were really good reasons, right? I mean, he was thinking about other people. Maybe you can stop because I'm seeing myself there on the screen. Neera, on the screen. I'm just seeing myself. So you can go to some other screen. So, so Arjun is giving some very good reasons, right? I mean, how can we kill them? They do not know. वो बच्चा है, नहीं समझ में आ रहा. We should fight. We should not fight at least. And even if they kill us unarmed, what's going to happen to the women? And what about the unwanted progeny? Everything. The community projects, he says there. Community projects will be stopped. So he's connecting the family to the community. What happens in the family will ultimately impact the community, because what is community? It's a sum total of the families in that community, right? So he's telling all that. So there's a lot of compassion, so to speak, right? So was Arjun compassionate, or was he compassionate?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's compassion, right? And was he sentimental? So what is the difference between compassion and sentimentality? Like if you're just sentimental and if you have compassion, what will be the difference in the end result? In a situation like this, if Arjuna would have been just sentimental.
Compassion is when you are able to go beyond yourself. Sentimental is more when you are thinking about yourself and maybe your very immediate vicinity, but compassion goes
Very good.
beyond.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I think when, or at least this is what I understood, that when Arjuna was,
It is, yeah.
he started from sentimental, but then he was like, he was kind of was able to connect that actions impact will go beyond his family.
Exactly, exactly. So sentiment, when you're being sentimental, you will shirk your responsibilities. So Arjuna, was he shirking his responsibilities?
Yes.
Right? On the pretext of compassion, he was saying, I will not fight the war, right? And then later on, Krishna comes and explains to him that, what his duty is. Otherwise, and it is very interesting that Arjuna at this point is not understanding what the duty is. And most of the people who look at the Bhagavad-gita and you ask them what is Bhagavad-gita, they will say, Bhagavad-gita is all about duty. Bhagavad-gita tells you about duty, what your duty is. Chapter 1 talks about the duty, Arjuna's duty. Chapter 2 tells about the duty. 3, 4, 5, 6, 18, 19. 19? 18 chapters in Bhagavad-gita. So, so they will all say, but then Krishna actually, as he takes Arjuna through the various chapters of Bhagavad-gita, he tells that, okay, yeah, we talk about the duty. Yes, you have a duty, but you don't know what the duty is. Your first duty is to do, what is our prime duty? Do your karma. What do you think is your prime duty? Shamlangi is smiling. I think she has the answer. Atato Brahma Jigyasa, huh?
So for him right now, you're not from Arjuna or for us?
Us.
So for us to seek knowledge.
To seek knowledge. What knowledge? Calculus, iPhone, AI, dharma. Correct. Yeah. The dharma, you have to understand what is your dharma. And Prabhupada in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita talks about Sanatan Dharma, eternal dharma. So, and then people, normally those who are doing the translation into the English language, they will translate dharma as a religion. So he says it is not religion. Dharma is not religion. Dharma is something intrinsic quality is dharma. Like, for example, the quality of fire is to burn. So fire will burn, whether it's a saint or whether it's a sinner, whether it's a child or whether it's an adult, so fire is going to burn. So that's the dharma, and you cannot remove it from there. The dharma cannot be removed. So then, what is the dharma of the soul? To what? Good.
Liberation.
To liberation. Okay, that's the dharma of the soul, is to be liberated. Halfway there, why do we want to be liberated?
Actually, to connect to Krishna.
To connect to Krishna, and in which way? In order to, with the goal of, why do you want to connect with Krishna? You're there.
Salvation.
So you will get, you'll get salvation, you'll get liberated. On the way to Krishna, you want to go back to Krishna, but why do you want to go back to Krishna?
Godhead.
No, it depends on the mood, right? Like you are as mother, as
Yeah,
child.
but what are you doing? Even as a mother, even what is the common thing you're doing? Service, right? Yeah, so that is the aim, and that is our Sanatan Dharma, right? So your other dharma, your religion can change. You can be born in a Hindu family, get married to a Christian, then decide like, no, I like to be Islam. You can do anything like, oh, but this is very good. That's the trend these days. But that is not. So that shows that religion is not everlasting. You could be one in one life and you could be following another religion in another life, right? Because religions are also like mathematics, 101, 102, 601, like that, right? So Vaishnavism is the 601, is the PhD of religion. And so that's religion is changeable, but what doesn't change is the quality of serving. And you see that quality of serving even now. Even if you're not serving Krishna, who else do we serve? We serve devotees. Shamita is beautiful. She always thinks of serving devotees. Very nice. Who else do we serve?
Wife and children.
Wife and children. He says that so sadly.
Everyone actually.
Everyone actually, wow. That is life. Yeah.
Boss.
Yes, yeah. So we do the serve, right? And the biggest service that we do and the biggest service that we give is we give service to our senses. We serve our senses 24/7, right? And then there's a verse that says, Kamadhinam kathina kathita palita durnidesha. So it says that I have been, I have been a servant and I have been serving these senses. And what type of service are you doing? I'm carrying out their orders. What kind of orders were they giving? Durnidesh, not nirdesh, durnidesh. Bad injunctions, the bad things the senses are telling me to do. And I have been doing that all the time. So at least when that realization comes to us that we have been serving the senses, then it's a good starting point. At least we have found out the root cause. How the doctors come and say, I'm having pain in my stomach. At least they'll say, okay, fine, the appendix has to be removed. At least we have found out the cause. And now we'll work on, how do we overcome the senses. So the best way to overcome the senses, and right now you see, Arjuna says that my senses are failing. My senses are not, he said that, right? And but then he comes to his senses. Later in the Bhagavad-gita, he comes to his senses. Why? After listening to Krishna Katha, after listening to Krishna, after understanding, after he gets the knowledge, all these things that you had mentioned here today, right? So he does that. And so in order to be able to overcome our senses, instead of serving our senses, what should we do with our senses? We should engage, very good, Kathy Mataji. We should engage our senses in the service of Krishna. So now tell me, how can you engage your senses in the service of Krishna? Take the darshan. Okay, so eyesight. Okay, taken care of. Eyes taken care of. Cook for Krishna. Chanting. So tongue is being engaged. Cooking. So leg, hand is engaged. Okay, eyes, smell. Okay. Neela Prabhu cleaning. Yes. Yeah. So this is how you can engage your senses, all your senses in the service of Krishna. And we don't do that. We are slaves of our senses. And it's very interesting how these senses are. The senses among themselves also, they work as a team, but they work as a team amongst themselves, they work as a team, but they don't work as a team for you. Right? Later on, they will start working as a team for you when your mind becomes your friend. Later on, it'll do, but not at this time when our senses are not obeying our things. And so we talk about that. There's a story of this young boy who saw, he was going around in a village and he sees a very nice mango, a ripe mango on a tree. And so he wants to go and climb the tree and get the mango. But there's a sign that says, Aam torna mana hai. You're not allowed to pluck the mangoes. But anyway, he somehow or the other, he climbs that wall, goes there, climbs the tree, gets the mango. And when he takes the mango and he jumps from there with the mango in his hand and he falls down. And then suddenly there's a shooting pain in his back. And then he turns to see from where did the pain come. So the owner had come by that time and he had a stick and he gave him one nice stick at his back, right? And then he started because of the pain of his eyes, because of the pain, then his eyes start watering. So this is the cycle that it goes through, It is your eyes that saw the mango, and then your legs and your hands, mind, everything schemed together to go get the mango, which we were not supposed to do. There were injunctions on the way. There was that board that was telling you, but somehow the mind, which is our enemy, convinced us that we should not follow this, we should still go there and do it. And then ultimately from where it started, it ended there with the eyes, doing that, right? So we are at 7:45. I will stop here and take any reflections or questions or anything that comes to your mind.
We wanted to see directly. No.
Keshvi, is it?
No, not for
Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, you looking for Kirtan years?
Yeah.
Anybody wants to do Kirtan? Let's do
After
Kirtan.
the reflection.
After
I don't
reflections?
know this.
Okay.
I have a question, but
Yes, yes,
I don't know
please.
if it is relevant.
No. Even if it's not related to chapter 1, you can still ask the question.
It was just, when we were talking about service, right? Like, who do we?
Is it on? Karan, is it on? Okay, just hold it closed.
Okay, yeah, it's better, yeah.
Yeah.
When we were talking about service, so one of the questions that was coming to my mind was how much, I mean, we talk about service, but then of course, like we are working, we were talking about service to your boss, but most of the time, or sometimes we do not have a will, we don't do it willingly. So what exactly is a service? Is it also just an action that we're doing for others without our will? Or is it actually a willful action performed to help somebody else?
Right. Very, very good question. There's a term for Krishna, and the term for Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. Bhavagrahi Janardhan means that he knows your bhava, he knows your intention. So even if we did the service without, for show, and inside we were seething and we're like, कब खत्म होगा ये बर्तन धोने हैं, लेकिन वो देख रहे हैं वो वाले लोग हमसे कितना बर्तन अच्छा माज रही मंदिर में, right? So if you're doing these things for getting the name and the fame, it's not good thing to do, right? And so in this, when we were talking about, Niral came and said that you can serve Krishna in various moods. He talked about friends, he talked about parents, right, and lovers. There is one element that is common, whether it's a friend, whether it's a parent, whether it's a lover, and that is love. The love may be of a different kind of love, but the love is there. So friends do love each other. Servants also love their masters. Masters also love their servants in a different way. And then good masters. And then, of course, parents love their children. Children love their parent. And lovers, they love, right? Like that. So the element of love is there. So you mentioned there that is it something that came from my own? Yes, it has to come from your own, right? Now, sometimes what happens is that, so whatever seva that you do, if you're constrained for whatever reason, time, like that, just do that much that is coming from love, right? Out of love. Now, that doesn't mean that the seva is not going to inconvenience you. The seva could still be inconvenience you, but you're still doing it with love. For example, Khyati Mataji has been standing in the heat today and cooking for all of us. Why is she cooking for all of us? She could have just ordered, right? Love. Right? Why she could have just made khichdi. Why does she have to make? I saw thali and all going there, right? So love. So because of love, a wife is willing to cook in June, July, August here in the heat for the family. She does it. This is love that comes, right? And Krishna tells that to Arjuna actually in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, where he says something very difficult to do. Mayeva man adhatsva, mayi buddhim niveshaya, niveshyasya mayeva atha urdam na samsaya. So he says that, Mayeva man adhatsva, put your mind on me. And we heard Tejas Prabhu say, mind is on an enemy, he won't do that, right? So he said, mayi buddhim niveshyasya mayeva atha urdam na samsaya. Then he says, Krishna knows us. Even after he says that, he knows that we're going to complain and say, Krishna, mind me like that. So he says that, Atha chittam samahadatum na shaknosi mai siram abhyas yogena tato mam ichhaptam dhananjaya. So he says that, okay, if you're not able to engage your mind in me, then do some practice. सारे टाइम माइंड नहीं लगता, अच्छा सुबह जाओ आरती करो, भगवान के सामने फूल तोड़ ला, उतने टाइम में you will at least be thinking about God, right? Like Karan Prabhu on every Sunday will say, Shraddha Mataji could फूल रख दो मेरे लिए, because he wants to do DT worship, right? DT service, right? He's working whole night, meetings with India and all that, right? So he'll have to adjust his things accordingly. So then, लेकिन काम कहाँ है, टाइम कहाँ है अभ्यास करने का? सुबह तो उठ करके ये करो, बच्चों को तैयार करो, उसको किंडरगार्टन जा रहा है आपका बच्चा, ये वो, टू डू सो मेनी थिंग्स, एंड देन बॉस का कॉल आ रहा है, वो इंटरनेशनल, क्या नहीं हो सकता अभ्यास, कैन नॉट डू अभ्यास, कृष्णा यू आर आस्किंग मी टू डू अभ्यास। So he says, okay, अगर वो नहीं कर सकते, अभ्यासे अपि असमर्थोसी मत कर्मा परमो भवा मदर्थम अपि कर्माणि पूर्वम सिद्धिम अवाप्स्यसि. So he says, okay, if you cannot do that, at least do something for me. Do something for me. And it could be anything. For example, somebody in this room, I won't name names here because I'm on the internet, but he has a company and somebody from his company is developing a software which will be used in the service of Krishna. So that is service. So you could be a good doctor. Recently, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was hospitalized. So he has devotees, his disciples who are doctors, they take care. So they're using whatever skills that they have, they're using that in the service of Krishna because they are serving Krishna serving like that. So Mat karma parmo bhava madhartam api karmani kurvam siddhim apavasi. So do everything for me, with me in focus. Right? Kurvam siddhim. Siddhim means that you will get siddhi, you will attain perfection just by doing that. Just by serving Krishna, you will attain perfection, right?
And two, three points, Mataji, out there, right? One
Yes,
is
go ahead.
like Maharaj says, I asked him this question and he said, you have time in between things which you waste. Right? Like he says, I get into the car and I always make it a point to read when I'm in the car. So he's like, sometimes I'm in meetings and I know I'm not required, but I'm there. I will start doing my workout while I'm in the meeting. So it's like, sometimes you just figure out those blocks in between what you do, right? Like I start chanting when I'm in the car. Right? So you do your chanting. It's a half an hour drive. You can think about things or you can just right? The second thing is, I think Ankit asked that question once, which was like you will not always feel like it when you're doing it, but it's almost like workout also, right? You don't enjoy it when you start, but as you get used to it, you will get better at it, right? So even if it's not happening, can we just pound through sometimes?
Yes.
Yes. Saying it's not one day, right? If you're doing it forever, there will be days when you don't find it, but as long as you're consistent. Like for me, consistency has been an issue, but I'm like, even if you don't feel like it, just do it. Like you do it with workouts and everything else. Right? I think those are the things.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Guru Maharaj sometimes says, fake it until you make it. Right? So nahi man kara baith jao chanting. It's a very interesting thing, Karan, that you mentioned that you chant when you're driving, right? Now I and my husband will tell you, I was the most yes, after this stuff, I was the most impatient. I still am in so many ways. Most impatient person in the world, right? Like and very punctual also. So, like if this is the time, I would come. This is like 20 years ago, before I was introduced to Krishna consciousness. And so I would go to the doctor's office. Doctor's appointment was at 3. They said come at 2:45. 2:45, I would be at the reception. I would be like that punctual. And then, of course, which doctor sees you on time? None of them, right? Then I would sit there and then I would fret and fume. Right? And then, of course, on the way to the doctor, if I met a red light, I would fret and fume. Dang, red light. I have to be there. What is this? Now, when I came to Krishna consciousness, started reading Prabhupada's book, the red light, aha, where's my beat bag? Let me chant. You know? So your whole attitude towards the life itself changes. Rakesh, we'll have to come up a little bit to speak on the mic.
Oh yeah, I can tell you something. It's like it's a practical any spiritual. Okay, gives insights. Okay, I'm giving the example of my parents, mother and father. My mother is like a religious also, but my father is never. And the whole life, like I can say that up to the 70 years, he was not taking care of my mom, okay? Whatever you want to do it, okay? But when my mother is becoming more and older, my father, after 70, he start changing. And then I remember this thing up to 85 when he died. Up to my mother was alive and he was taking care of so much my mother. Everything. Even you sleeping, because my mother doesn't forget. Sometimes she cannot remember. She can remember for 50 years old everything, but she cannot remember if he's cooking anything. But he cared so much to my mother till he died himself. Now I'm like my father, totally like a father. And I go to temple, but not I can pray everything. I just go bed. I just go pray to I believe in God, everything, but I cannot do anything like too much. I just like my wife is totally religious. It's not religious. She came to this situation and then he started before this was normal, just like me, okay. But he changed after the reading this Gita book, and then I cannot do anything for her, okay? Or can you do this thing? So she says that do this thing, this thing. I cannot do this thing. Still, I cannot do this thing. But sometimes I feel myself alone. Okay, if I cannot do this thing, suppose she want to cook something, she want to order to shop or something, I will do for that. Everything I'm doing this thing. And then she become upset also. Oh, I asked this one because she's very perfect. Perfectionist, I'm telling you. I've never seen that who is the more than perfect my wife, okay? Even I fight all the time with her. She is totally perfect, okay? But I am the opposite of that. And just like so right now I am that type of person who can watch movies like 25 movies in a month when there was no theater that time in my college days. Right now, I want to not to go. I want to go with my friend. Oh, I want to go to watch movie or with my friend. Then I know this thing. She cannot go alone. She is very all the time thinking about the God or something for me. I know she will be crash her car. So now I'm doing the service on. Oh, where she want to go, I'm the Uber driver. Okay. So that's the thing. Sometimes she life. Okay. So I cannot do other thing, but I do the servant. Who is the serving to the God? So this is my practical thing. It's like I'm not like a I cannot do the prayer all the time. Because maybe she knows me all the time. How we go in the temple, just go there, then just I'm the prayer. I believe in the God, everything, but I cannot do everything in the prayer. I will sit down there like I cannot do that. Like oh, everybody, my friends might joke me all the time. Oh, you are the country mala. Can you do that like a 16 round or this thing like that? So that's the thing. She did not say me to change it. Sometimes she always said to me, "Oh, you should start this thing." No, I will take the next. I want to take the next bus to change it. And then she said, "Oh, her is like, oh, I don't want to be next year." No, I want to come with the next time. So I totally opposite this. I'm just totally as like a magnetism. Is there like a North Pole and the South Pole? Totally. But sometimes I think she is going older and older, then I should help her also all the time. So this is my practical thing.
Bhagavad, the question for you. Based on what Prabhu said, right? If you don't do the chanting, but you're doing your karma, is there a difference? Like, do you have to do, like he said, you have to pray, do you have to chant? Or if you're doing your karma in the right way, can that be enough?
If you cannot do the thing, that is my way.
Oh, that's
To have the who is doing the other thing.
yeah. I'd like to continue on the trail of verses that I was speaking, and then you will come to that. So Krishna says that abhyase, that you do some abhyas, deity worship. Abhyase api asamartosi mat karma, do some work for me, like that, right? And then in the end, he says that if you abhyase api asamartosi mat karma parmo bhava madhartam api karmani kurvam siddhim avaptati athetad api ashaktosi kartum mat yogam arshata sarva karma phalatyagam tatha kuru yatatmaman. So he said that if you're not able, for example, we will say, when Krishna says, put your mind on me, we'll very easily say, my mind goes here and there. I have 100 things on my mind. I'm living in Kali Yuga. How can I do that, right? Then he says, okay, you do deity worship. Deity worship, husband नहीं करने देते deity worship. कहाँ से करूँ? हमारा पूरा परिवार आ जाता है, वो तो करते नहीं, मीट खाते हैं, मैं ये के लिए. They will say that, right? So then, okay, if you can't do that, he's saying, अच्छा तो चले जाओ मंदिर में जाकर के कर लेना. जाने नहीं देते मंदिर. मैं तो बोल के आती हूँ दोस्तों से मिलने जा रही हूँ, चली जा रही हूँ मंदिर. Yeah, people tell me like that in the temple. They say, like, I just bluffed my family and I come here to the temple. So sometimes they can't, or I have so much of work to do. I have old parents, in-laws, I have to take care of them. I can't leave them alone. I cannot go there. So he's saying, Sarva karma phala tyagam. Whatever you gain from whatever you're doing, then give some donation and you go and do that, right? So that was a chain that people. So sometimes we might be, like, for example, we come across especially devotee ladies, young girls, devotee ladies, they're spending too much of time they're spending too much of time in doing devotional service, completely dedicated. They get married, and then they have a child. Now, the moment a child comes, I can't chant 16 rounds. I was chanting 32 before the child came. Mataji, what am I supposed to do? I'm a sinner. I'm this, I'm that. No, it's just a phase in your life. This phase will be over. And then, you will get back into the gear. And during that time, if you don't feel like it, you can go to the temple and do some work. Sometimes you can't even go there because the child gives some donation, but continue your connection with Krishna. So that is the flow that goes. Now, coming back to Karan's question, is that just enough, right? So a couple of things to keep in mind with based on what Rakesh Prabhu said, right? He said, "Ki main Bhagwan ko manta hu." That is the key. He has faith. He has faith in God. So he believes. I mean, so many people in the temple tell me Rakesh is a devotee. They tell me that, right? Because he's doing devotional service. He's coming there. It's just that whatever the mind is at this point, and the previous cultural momentum is there, in some samskaras are there, so he's not able to do that. But to be able to go back to Godhead, you have to do devotional service. And then these 4 verses are saying that if you can't do this, if you can't do that, you do this. He's serving, right? And then he serves the Vaishnava. He goes to the temple, and if I'm not having a class, he would be at the temple, and he does the most menial work there through the garlands team, right? He'll sit there. He doesn't make garlands, but he will be sweeping because the garland team ladies they work so hard, and then they get tired.
And he cuts flowers.
Yeah, and then he'll just cut the flowers. And then he will sweep so many times he will sweep because of the leaves that are falling down. So he'll do all that. And then when all these things happen, Krishna automatically arranges that. He will arrange that. I mean, Krishna. So what happens in the beginning is that when you don't have Krishna in your life, or Krishna is always in our life, he's actually inside us also. When we have not given the reins of our life to Krishna, we are saying, I'm going to control it. Then you will do things and there'll be consequences, you'll suffer those consequences, all those good things are going to happen to you. But once you take to devotional service, then Krishna especially starts taking care of you. Yoga Shema Vahamyaham. He says he carries what you lack and I preserve what you have. That Krishna does of his own. So Krishna is very powerful. We just have to turn away and turn our face there. I mean, I still remember 15 years or 12 years ago, we used to have Devotee Appreciation Day at ISKCON. And where we would all, Shamlangi, remember, right? And so the whole day we would dedicate that to devotees appreciating each other. And you will not believe people would do that. And we stopped doing that for a reason. And it was, khatam nahi hota tha, wo to hai, right? On the way back, Vaishnavi Prabhu used to say that on the way back, I used to feel so bad. Oh, Rakesh ko to bola hi nahi maine kuch. Usko to bola nahi. I forgot Karan. I forgot this. I forgot that. He said, I used to feel so bad. It's like, no, let us not do that, right? But I still remember that when so many people were there, and they were being appreciated, Rakesh Prabhu was there, and both of them were very new to ISKCON, and I was literally scared of everybody there. Because, I was living a light, carefree life. I'll do whatever I want to do. And there they were saying, no, these are 25 pounds of zucchini that you have to chop, and each size has got to be the same. And this is the size. And Rakesh and I had a measuring thing. We told them, okay, give us a piece. Yeah. And then Rakesh would put the sample next to the zucchini, and I would cut. Okay, move the sample. I would cut. Move the sample. I would cut. This is how we were cutting it. So we were so scared, but we did that. And I still remember when Nirakla Mataji Guruma was cooking, she said, they were perfect. I've never seen that. But the trauma that we went through when we were cutting it. And then the people were appreciating. So Rakesh Prabhu was doing so much of the work behind the scenes, right? He was doing it. And then when the devotees were being appreciated, Rakesh Prabhu cried. He's easy to cry. He's easy to cry because his heart is very soft. So when your heart is very pure and clean, you're able to cry. I don't cry, but my heart is very hard, right? He cries, and he cried and he just said that, I'm feeling so bad that I'm not able to do all these wonderful things that they are doing. And I still remember Vaishnav Prabhu saying the fact that you're able to appreciate the devotees, the fact that you're able to appreciate the devotees, when you see, and in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says that, then others who take pleasure in seeing others doing so, like that. Right? So they also get that. So Karan, even if they are doing it, ultimately Krishna will make those arrangements and they will also do. And there are instances of people who just went back, not chanting. Chanting is the yuga dharma, of this yuga. Because people, number one, the mind is disturbed, so you cannot do meditation. That's for Satyuga. Second yuga, the people do Ashwamedha Yaga and all that. People don't have money to do Ashwamedha Yaga. Yes, one Ashwamedha Yaga costs $1 billion. Who has $1 billion, right? Then have no time to go to the temple. I've got calls, I've got this, I've got that, I have a bad boss, he makes me work over the weekend, I can't go to the temple, right? So then they will say, okay, fine, you sit and chant, because you can sit and chant anywhere and in any time, any place, any circumstances. There is no rule that says you cannot chant. You can chant, right? So this is for those. But in this yuga, if somebody is able to meditate on Krishna, go for it. If somebody can do a dhyan, go for it, like that, right?
One like related question, right? You see some people who would be learned, right? They can chant the shlokas, but they probably a little arrogant about the knowledge, right? So between them and people who are just like humbly doing whatever they're doing, but are not as advanced, right? What matters most? Is the intent or the attitude which is more important, or is it the doing of things which is more important?
Very, very good question. And I will give you two stories here. So one story is of a brahmachari. So this is a brahmachari, long time brahmachari, like 40, 50 years old. And when he was a small child, he came and started living in the temple itself. And so like all brahmacharis in the temple, he would go for Mangal Aarti every morning without fail. For 45 years, without fail, he went for Mangal Aarti, right? And then one day, he overslept. And then a lady came in his dreams and literally shook him in his dream and said, hey, get up, get up, get up. It is Mangal Aarti time. And by the way, today is Ekadashi. How can you miss going for Mangal Aarti on Ekadashi? So he jumps out of his bed, quickly takes a shower and rushes, as how the brahmacharis of the temple know how to rush for Mangal Aarti in 5 minutes, right? So he does that. And so he goes, attends the Mangal Aarti, is very happy. And he comes back. But then he was very curious, like, who was that person who came and woke me up in my dreams, right? And sometimes, we might think it is a dream, but it's not a dream. It's actually a reality that is happening. For example, because dream is nothing. Dream doesn't have a substance. Dream is just your mind thinking about something. But sometimes at a higher plane, people do come and talk to you, like those who have left their bodies. Like Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master used to come and tell him, take sannyas, take sannyas. And so he's talking to him, but when he wakes up, he thinks that it was a dream, but it was a reality. So he knows that. He's just thinking, who was it who came and took? Who was this lady coming into a brahmachari ashram and, making me wake up? And I'm so grateful to her. So he goes to sleep that night. And before he goes to sleep, he prays and says that, who are you, Devi? Please reveal yourself, because you saved me from such a big thing, right? Otherwise, I would have broken my record of 45 years of going to a Mangal Aarti every single day. So he goes to sleep. And again, he has a dream. And guess who came in the dream? It was Maya. And Maya came in the dream and said, I woke you up. And she said, Maya, you woke me up? You would have been the happiest person if I missed going for that one day. She said, no. I wanted you to retain that pride that you have, that I have gone for Mangal Aarti every single day. I did not want that pride to break. I want you to stay with that pride, because if there's anything that brings down your devotional service, it is pride, right? So that is one. And so your question that, those who are knowledgeable people, knowledge, Shastra पढ़ लिया, गा लिया, सुना दिया, ये सब कर दिया, but अंदर वो है कि ये मैं हूँ ये कुछ, तो वो अहम है, और वो false ego है, वो सही ego है ही नहीं. What is the right aham that we should have? अहंकार होना चाहिए कि मैं हूँ, लेकिन मैं क्या हूँ, क्या हो तुम? Servant of Krishna, exactly, for 500 points.
Intentions, सही एक जगह
बिल्कुल इंटेंशन वही होने चाहिए बिल्कुल।
काम कर
Chanting तो बहुत काम करती है. These are aids that will help you, right? To focus your mind. Yes. Mind focus करती है, right? लेकिन अगर टाइम नहीं मिल पा रहा है, ऐसे जॉब में है कि नहीं कर सकते हैं, तो और काम करें तो करो, you know. Krishna will take care, because now we have turned our face towards Krishna and we are saying that we want to do that. So एक ही था. Second था कि there was this a big Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. There was this lady who was, there was this big activity that was going on. People were cleaning a temple and all that. And there was one lady who was in the back. And she was quietly filling pots of water, and she was putting it there. And then the lead team was cleaning the temple over and over again. And then they were in the limelight. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked that, who is bringing all this water? So they said, oh, there's that lady, you know, Dukhi hai, uska naam Dukhi hai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this lady has been working in the background, bringing flawless water, nobody observing her, nobody appreciating her. Yet she has been consistently doing that service, not looking for the accolades that come from the service. She should not be called Dukhi. Her name, I'm changing her and renaming her to Sukhi from this point onwards. So that is what that is what Krishna sees. Like I said, bhavagrahi Janardhan. He knows the intention. He knows, and that's why we see that over and over in Bhagavad-gita. He says, "Jnani na no bhakta." No, the bhakt has humility. That's one quality of bhakta. Utter humility. Danya is utter humility. And it is utter humility. Because of utter humility, you will see people singing songs like Mausama Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhumane. Big exalted devotees are saying that there's nobody more fallen than I am. And here we are thinking like, oh wow, they are there. We have put them on a pedestal, and about themselves, they're thinking, I'm so fallen. Like that, yeah. So it is a slippery slope. Even when progressing in devotional service, it can hit your head. And that's why I said that mind is an enemy. And even if it becomes a friend, every now and then it'll tend to become an enemy like that. Yeah, it does so. Yeah, but good questions. Yeah. Anything else? We were wondering who's going to sing. Our singer is, okay, getting up. Very good. Khyati Mataji? Should we do Narsimha? Can we do? Huh?
Yes.
What else did you have in mind?
उनको भजन चाहिए था कोई।
अच्छा भजन करो, भजन वाले आगे कौन गाते हैं?
Who can do भजन? इसको
है कि चलिए?
माता जी करती है ना, वो गाते हैं पुष्पा माता जी कुछ नहीं, आप भी गाते हो, मैं सुना था वो उनका साथ देती हूँ, मैं इतना अच्छा नहीं गाता।
आता ही आता है।
अरे यार,
I can even try.
और we can sing, अगर KK songs लगाना है तो then we can follow that.
हरे कृष्ण मंत्र कर सकते हैं? हरे कृष्ण कोई स्पेशल था? कोई स्पेशल था?
तो लगाओ तो लोग गा देंगे तो।
हाँ।
नेहा जी कोई सॉन्ग आप
कहते हैं? आप कहते हो? माता जी कहते हैं? वो गाते हैं?
अच्छा। आपको गीता ना भगवान के बारे में
केसरी गा देगी।
केसरी ओके, you want to say Hare Krishna mantra or you want to sing something? Have this. Start.
सुनो हल्का फुल्का गा दे क्या? अच्युतम
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Hari Bol. Very nice.
मन पर क्यों? माता जी आप वो लगा दो पीछे का 10 इसके लिरिक्स लगा दो, बड़ी गेम्स बोलो।
कौन सा
आप जो गाओगे
कौन सा
वही जो पुष्पा माता जी का है भजन,
अच्छा।
रस से भरी राधा रानी।
ओके आते नहीं
फॉलो करूंगा थोड़ा भी पकड़ी है।
अच्छा पता नहीं हम लोग कितना पकड़ पाएंगे, लेकिन शुरू करो तो हम लोग फॉलो करेंगे।
Natalie will also have small things.
Yes, इसके बाद हाँ कीर्तन के बाद इसको zoom करो
उनको
चलो खाना लेके जाओ कहाँ बाद में कैसे खाओगे हाँ ले जाओ प्रसाद लेके जाओ नहीं थैंक यू लेके जाओ School. हरि बोल सबको बुला लो हो गया हमारा कीर्तन हो गया